Today I'm going to walk you through how I used AI to write a book. In December, when I was taking some time off, I decided to see if I could make progress on an online book that I started 7 years ago and never really made much progress on. This is a technical book, and it relates to this throttle, which I have shown in previous episodes, that I helped work on and helped develop. There was one aspect of it that I never really learned very well, which is something called LCC, that stands for Layout Command Control. And so I wanted to see how far I could get in understanding this subject, as well as writing a book that would allow a hobbyist to create their own LCC device using an ESP32. So let me take you to the computer and show you the process that I took and show you how I actually learned a lot about the technology reading what AI wrote. It was pretty cool. Let me start by showing you the book that I have so far. The book is not complete, but you can see that I have 6 chapters, and there's quite a bit of content. Now, one of the things that was really interesting, if I go to this part right here, is there is a startup sequence that happens when you first connect a device, and I really didn't know how this worked. So one of the things I'm going to show you is how I had AI go through and read a bunch of documentation to come up with this information here. And it created all of this content. I read through the content to make sure it was correct and proofread it and gave it some feedback to improve things. But what you see here is all written by AI. I did not write any of this myself. A lot of this document is based on 2 other documents. The first one is the standard, and so the standard has things in it like informative, normative, all those other qualifiers and terms that are designed to make it something that is clear to someone who's trying to implement the standard, but it's pretty dense and there's a lot of information in here. There's also a technical note, and the technical note is certainly more approachable, but it's also pretty dense, and there's a lot of information in here and a lot to digest, and I didn't want to do that. So the first thing I tried is to have the language model read these PDFs, but I didn't have the tools that allowed it to do that. So what did I do? All of the files are in this Git repository, so I cloned the repository, which means that I made a copy locally. And if we go in here, this is where they have the various standards. They have them in both PDF format and ODT format. So I downloaded these, but again, as I mentioned, GitHub Copilot, which is what I'm using for AI, was not able to read the PDF files directly. This is the program I used to do all of the work of writing the book, as well as to write the sample programs that I put on the ESP32 microcontroller. I started by downloading the PDF files, as I mentioned before, which are in here. You can see them just as they were on the original GitHub repository. Next, I had Copilot create these 2 files for me, and I forget which is which because they worked and I only needed them one time, so I never really looked at them. This is GitHub Copilot right here, and it gives me access to all of these different models. I currently pay $19 a month. I started with a $10 a month subscription, but I was going through tokens too quickly, so switched to the more expensive one. This program is using Pandoc, which is a program that can convert from one file format to another, and it supports many different file formats. I used it here to convert from PDF to Markdown. So if we look here, these are the converted files. The one we were just looking at, datagram transport, and I'll hide this window so we can look at the preview. And this is the document that we were looking at before, but converted from PDF to Markdown, which is a format that the AI can read very easily and understand very well. This is also the format it can output, and as you'll see, this is the format that I used to create the contents for the book. So let me go back in time to where I had the first check-in with some new chapters. And if we look here, at this file, I believe it is, right here, I'll show the preview. We have this sequence diagram that shows what happens during startup. I'd like to give you an idea about how I got to that point, and then I'm going to give you more ideas about how I set up other files for creating the book. So I'll go ahead and close these again. And now what I'm going to do is, just to remind you, I have all the markup files here. I'll open a new editor window, and what I'll ask it is basically what happens during the startup sequence. So I'll say, using only the markdown files in the markdown folder, please describe the startup sequence for a node as you would for a section in a book teaching someone about how LCC works. So this will go out and figure out which files it needs to read. You can see it's doing a bunch of work here, and it's reading some files. It found some standards. Now it's looking in those standards, and you can see this is running fairly quickly. It's certainly reading things a lot faster than I could read them as a human. And after not too much effort, it should come up with an answer here in Markdown. So I'll give this some time and then probably fast forward so that, well, actually I didn't have to fast forward. So here this describes the startup sequence. And this is some useful information here. And then I'll say, create a sequence diagram using Mermaid. So Mermaid is a way in HTML and other forms that you can, it's actually a markdown, that you can describe diagrams. So I'm simply asking it to use the information it just found to create that diagram. It's asking me if I want to look at the startup sequence or node discovery interaction. Since the book, we have a startup sequence, I think I'll do the node discovery because that's something we haven't looked at before. So it gave me numbers. I'll choose number 2. And you can see that did not take very long at all. I'm going to increase the size of this window. So this is pretty much describing that sequence. It's been a few months since I created this book, so I don't remember exactly how I got to this point. I'm using the plan folder here as a place to keep files that I used as part of the process of creating the book. I didn't create it one section at a time or one chapter at a time. I went through a more detailed process of planning up front. So if we look at GitHub Copilot, one of the things that it has is a plan mode. And so I use plan mode to give it some description of what it is I wanted to try to build. As an example, if we look at the README, and I'll show the preview, this is giving us an idea about what we want the book to cover. So it's saying, let me make this a little bit larger. So it's saying that we want it to be a technical introduction, and it should focus on the ESP32 Wi-Fi in the initial release of the book. Now, since I was on vacation, I didn't go nuts sitting at my computer. I probably spent maybe 4 hours a day. I don't really remember. But what I'm showing you now is where I got to 1 week later, almost exactly. If we look down here, you can see we now have 6 chapters. As I mentioned multiple times, AI wrote everything that's in here, including the source code, by the way. So in addition to having the text for the chapters, there's also the source code that people can open and look at and learn from. So if we go back to the chapter itself, the text, this is the first section of chapter 6. And one of the things that can be a lot of work when writing a book is walking people through how do they change their code from what they had in the previous chapter. What you're seeing here is an example of that. So we have plus signs here and minus signs to indicate which pieces of code we're adding and which ones we're removing. This is the raw markdown over here. This is what it looks like formatted. And you can see the green means add and the red means remove. But because some people are colorblind, you also have the plus and the minus so that they can see it either way. Doing this type of diff by hand is, as I said, very painful. So it's really nice to be able to have AI simply create this for me. I told it which library that I'm using to render this on the web, and then said use the diff format to create diffs, and this is what it created. So the point of this video is to give you an idea of what you can accomplish with AI. This was a subject matter that I know well enough so I can guide AI to do its research and I can fact check what it writes, but I didn't know enough to write the content myself. So it was a great partnership because I could guide it and I could learn from it, and then I could question some of the things that didn't sound right, have it do some more research, and then come back and give me more information and either convince me or decide, yes, you're right, that's a good point. By the way, AI is very good at saying very nice things like, oh, what a great idea, and other things like that. Just ignore that. It's trying to suck up to you because that's how it's been trained. But it still has very useful information. So if you have a subject you've been wanting to learn, AI is a great way to do that. If you have a document or a book you've been wanting to write, but you didn't want to invest the amount of time and effort involved to become a deep expert, or the amount of time and effort to do all the research, or even to do the writing, AI can do amazing things. In 1 week, it produced those 6 chapters that I'm sure would have taken me a lot longer to do in the past. Now, you're probably wondering why I have not gotten past those 6 chapters. And the reason is because I got to the point where I understood enough about what was happening, but decided that I needed to learn more. So I started reading, let's see, I don't have one over here, but the manuals for some commercial LCC nodes to understand more about how they use them, how they're intended to be set up, etc. And in the process of doing that, I went down another rabbit hole. I won't go into that right now, but that will probably be the subject of a future video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, comment below, and I'll see you next time, which will hopefully be a lot sooner.